10-minute murder. Idyllic locations seem to have a moment where everything changes for the worse. Communities known for being comfortable and carefree are often tainted by unspeakable evils. Ashville, North Carolina is nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's an area of breathtaking beauty and is a popular destination for tourists. Those who love the outdoors enjoy hiking on the trails where they can marvel at the numerous waterfalls and enjoy whitewater rafting. The Blue Ridge Parkway is a 469-mile stretch of road that runs near Ashville and offers America's favorite drive. Visitors flock to the region to tour the Biltmore Estate and enjoy the thriving local art scene. However, this vibrant region was cloaked in something more dark and sinister. It was January 2000 when a teenager named Zebb Quinn mysteriously vanished into the night. His disappearance left authorities puzzled and his parents heartbroken for 17 agonizing years. Authorities learned that Zebb Quinn was murdered, and they had a suspect named Jason Owens. Shockingly, Zebb's murder was not the only one linked to Jason. He also admitted to the gruesome murders of a local family. What was once a place where people could live peacefully in homes with their doors unlocked quickly morphed into somewhere people had to look over their shoulders in fear. Zebb Quinn was born May 1981 and was remembered by those who knew him as a good kid. Jerry and Denise Quinn, Zebb's parents, divorced when he was young. Zebb lived with Denise, who was a pediatric intensive care nurse. He didn't really have much of a relationship with his father until he was 16 years old. Zebb attended and graduated from Robertson High School. He was a member of the high school's Reserve Officer Training Corps, or ROTC, and planned on attending Ashville Buncombe Technical Community College after graduation. To earn money, Zebb worked at a local Wal-Mart. In his free time, he enjoyed fishing and playing pool. Tommy Hilfiger clothes and cologne were items Zebb would purchase with the money he made at Wal-Mart. He loved his job and took it very seriously. He would not let his own mother use his Wal-Mart discount card because it was against their rules. It was at Wal-Mart where Zebb met Jason Owens. They occasionally played pool together, and on the evening of January 2nd, 2000, Zebb was working when he struck up a conversation with Jason in the parking lot. They chatted, and Zebb mentioned that he was looking to upgrade his car. Jason knew of a car for sale in a nearby county and offered to show it to Zebb after he got off work. They planned to drive separately to check it out. Zebb got off work at 9:10 p.m., and the two stopped at a local convenience store to grab a soda. According to Jason, when the two men were driving separately, Zebb pulled off to the side of the road. Zebb had a pager on him, and it went off. Neither man had a cell phone, so Zebb told Jason to wait while he found a payphone to see what the page was for. When Zebb returned 10 minutes later, he allegedly bumped his car into the back of Jason's vehicle. Jason told investigators that Zebb was upset but apologetic about bumping into Jason's car. He offered to pay for any damages, but told Jason that he received another page and could not make the trip to see the car. There was something bothering Zebb. Jason watched Zebb drive off, and he told investigators that was the last time that he saw him. Later that evening, Jason showed up at a local hospital and was treated for a head injury and broken ribs. He claimed he was in a car accident. Strangely enough, a report about the incident did not exist. It was discovered later that the person paging Zebb was a woman named Ina Ustich. She was Zebb's aunt. When questioned by investigators, Ina denied calling her nephew. They also discovered something strange about the location where Zebb made the call. It came from his dad's apartment. Jason told investigators that Zebb was not gone for long to make the call. If he did make the call from his dad's apartment, then he would have been gone longer than Jason claimed he was. Also, Zebb's father said that he was not at home at the time the call was made to Ina Ustich. Ina claimed that someone had been in her apartment without her permission, and they made mysterious phone calls using her phone. Ina said that her phone was found in a different place where she left it. Plus, she noticed someone damaged a picture in her home. The night Zebb disappeared, Denise Quinn paged him at around 10 p.m. because he had not returned home from work. Maybe he had stopped for a game of pool and forgot to call. Hours passed and Denise grew more and more nervous. She spent the next day frantically looking for her son. She tried calling Misty Taylor, a girl that Zebb was talking to at the time. Misty claimed she didn't know where Zebb was and didn't see him the night of January 2nd. A supervisor of Zebb's at Wal-Mart received a call on January 3rd. Someone claiming to be Zebb called in sick. The supervisor knew better because the caller sounded nothing like Zebb. It was also reported that Zebb wasn't one to call in sick. On a hunch, the supervisor dialed *69 on their phone for the number from the caller. It was traced back to the place where Jason Owens worked. Jason admitted to investigators that Zebb asked him to call in sick, pretending to be Zebb. Investigators asked Jason to take a polygraph test, and he passed. Pause. I feel like anytime I mention on this podcast someone taking a polygraph test and passing or failing or being inconclusive, I always have to tell you my personal opinion on polygraphs. They are basically useless. I mean, police use them as leverage, but they are not admissible in court for a reason. It's basically a coin flip as to the results you're going to get. Investigators also learned that Misty was rumored to be hanging out with Ina Ustich the night Zebb went missing. Misty was something of a crush for Zebb. She was not single. In fact, she had a boyfriend named Wesley Smith, and it's believed that he was considered abusive in his relationship with Misty. Zebb was aware of Misty and Wesley's relationship. Those that worked with Zebb recalled he was afraid of Wesley. A missing persons case was filed. Zebb Quinn had disappeared, and clues were few. 2 weeks after he vanished, Zebb's car was found in the parking lot of Little Pig's Barbecue. Employees did not recall seeing a car in the parking lot before 5 p.m. the previous day. Zebb's car had 2 exclamation points and lips drawn on the back windshield. Someone used pink lipstick to draw them on the windshield. In the car was a 3-month-old black lab puppy retriever mix. The windows had been cracked and the puppy was fine. Also found in the car was a mysterious magnetic hotel key. The key did not have any identifying information. The site of the abandoned car was near the hospital where Zebb's mother and sister worked. Also, there were claims that a mysterious woman was seen driving Zebb's car before it was discovered. Local law enforcement was stumped, and Zebb's mother, Denise, decided to hire her own private investigator. All eyes were on Ina Ustich, Misty, and Jason Owens. The town was plastered with missing person flyers. A psychic was called in to assist. The psychic was handed Zebb's Wal-Mart vest, and a vision appeared to the psychic. It wasn't happy news. Zebb, according to the psychic, had died and was buried. A woman Zebb's sister encountered at the hospital where she worked shared a chilling vision that haunted her for days. This unnamed woman told Zebb's sister that she saw Zebb in these vivid dreams that she was having. He was dead, but he had been buried in a shallow grave near a stream. There was a construction site in the woman's dream, plus Zebb was holding something in his right hand. She had no idea what he was holding, only that he was holding something. The woman would also explain that these visions led her to believe that Zebb's death was an accident. A horseshoe, for some reason, was visible at times. 2 years after Zebb went missing, Jason was involved in a high-speed chase with Ashville police. During the chase, Jason fired shots at the police. He was caught and arrested. A yellow ribbon had been tied around the family's tree at Denise's house. It had faded and become worn as the months turned into years. Zebb's family and friends watched the case go cold. They hoped for an answer, and the answers arrived in March of 2015, but in an utterly horrifying way. Christy and her husband Joseph, J.T. Codd, were reported missing. The Codds were both in the entertainment industry. Christy was a celebrity chef that had appeared on the Food Network, and J.T. worked as a grip. A man had been seen on their property. He was carrying large bags and tossed them into the dumpster. Christie's family was concerned when she and her husband did not arrive in Mississippi for a planned visit. Something was obviously wrong, so they called the police in the Ashville area for assistance. When authorities arrived at the home of Christie and JT, they found their belongings in a dumpster. Law enforcement learned that the mystery man on their property dumping items was a neighbor. His name was Jason Owens. Jason lived a mile away from Christie and JT. His property was searched by investigators, and they made a horrifying discovery. In a wood stove were human remains. Jason told investigators that he was doing work at the Codd residence when his truck became stuck. The Codds were asked by Jason to help get his truck unstuck. Then he claimed that he accidentally ran them over. Jason then backed his truck up and ran them over a second time. He claimed he panicked, dismembered the Codds, and burned the remains. Also, Christie was pregnant when she died, adding to the tragedy. When asked why he did it, Jason stated that he knew he would get manslaughter and just wanted to hide the evidence. An investigation of his truck showed no damage, plus it had just been cleaned. Jason even robbed the Codd residence and sold some of the belongings to make it look like a robbery gone wrong. Investigators had Jason as a main suspect in the disappearance of Zebb Quinn and the Codd killings. They searched Jason's property after a family member admitted Jason started digging a fresh pond on his property after Zebb disappeared. Concrete had been poured on that spot. Investigators found fabric, leather materials, and unknown hard fragments that linked Jason to Zebb's disappearance. Jason informed his defense attorneys that a family member that has never been named killed Zebb, dismembered him, and burned the remains. It was April 2017 when Jason Owens was sentenced to a minimum of 59.5 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Jason was the last person to see Zebb Quinn alive, and he claims to this day that someone else did that to Zebb. Families want closure when a loved one is murdered. It's uncertain if Zebb Quinn's family will ever experience that moment of closure. We don't know who took Zebb's life for sure, although the clues do point to Jason Owens. Also, there are still questions about the mysterious pages Zebb received the night he went missing. Who parked his car at the barbecue restaurant? Why was a dog left in the vehicle? Did Jason do this all by himself? Also, why did it take investigators some 15 years to obtain a search warrant for his property? All the answers are with Jason Owens, and maybe he'll eventually tell the truth. That is 10-Minute Murder for today. Brief and bingeable true crime. I'm Joe, I'm the host, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to my little podcast. If this is your first time checking it out, welcome, and I really do appreciate you doing that. Before you go, please subscribe to 10-Minute Murder, catch up on all the back episodes, and never miss any of the new ones. Connect with me on social media, see the visuals of what we're talking about here on the podcast. And if you like this episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, or any place that's possible. Questions, comments, concerns, email me, joe@10minutemurder.com.